Hello students, welcome to Plus 1 Critical Science class. Today I will continue lesson equality and the topic is equality and liberty relationship. The objectives of the lesson are equality, its meaning and types of inequality, features of equality, extent of equality, kinds of equality, essential conditions for equality, equality and liberty relationship, equality and liberty opposed to each other, equality and liberty complement each other. And the objectives of the day are equality and liberty relationship, equality and liberty opposed to each other, equality and liberty complement each other. Before discussion of these objectives, I would like to discuss the key terms with you. The first key term is fraternity. Now, the example first I will discuss with you. The doctors belong to the medical fraternity. Teachers belong to the teachers fraternity. Students, have you understood something related to fraternity? Fraternity is a group of people showing a common profession or having common interest. As doctors and teachers belong to the medical and teachers fraternity. The next term is liberty. For example, you may move anywhere you like because you have liberty of movement. But if that area needs special protection like border with neighboring country, then government can restrict your liberty in that area for the safety of the nation. Yes, otherwise you have liberty of movement. But if government needs protection of that area, government can restrict your movement. So reasonable restrictions can be imposed on your liberty. So what is liberty? Liberty is the state of being free within society from restrictions imposed by authority on one's way of life. The next is dictatorship. My example is regarding Hitler. You must be knowing about Hitler. Hitler was ruling not only over Germany, but he had full control over Germans also. In the 1940s, he prosecuted the Jews community. You must be knowing about the Jews, why he prosecuted Jews, because according to Hitler, the Jews were traitors and due to Jews, Germany lost the First World War. When the ruler is not accountable for his actions and is free to do as he pleases, is called a dictator. Dictatorship is a form of government where one person or political party has the power to do whatever they want. So this is dictatorship. Now I will start the discussion of topic, that is equality and liberty relationship. First I will discuss the meaning of equality and liberty with an example. The example is a person is walking on the road. This is his right to freedom of movement. And the next example is many people are walking on the road. This is their right to freedom of movement enjoyed by all equally. You see what is the difference in both the examples. In the first example, one person is walking with liberty, and the next example, many people are walking with the liberty. But in next example, all are walking equally. So the second example is showing both equality and liberty. So equality is the state of being equal, especially in status, rights and opportunities. Liberty means freedom from restraints and freedom to act as one likes. So I will introduce. the topic, that is the French revolutionaries demanded liberty, equality along with fraternity. Students, you must be knowing about French Revolution. It was in 1789. So in the French Revolution, their slogan was liberty, equality and fraternity. And the American Declaration of Independence also worked on liberty and equality. So they both worked on liberty and equality. So liberty and equality are two fundamental rights, very clear to every human being. Yet, the relation between liberty and equality has been an object of controversy among the political thinkers. Now, there have been two opposite opinions regarding the relation between liberty and equality. Now, I will discuss both the opposite opinions. The first opinion is liberty and equality are opposed to each other, and the second opinion is liberty and equality complement each other. So, both are opposite views. Now, I will discuss both the opinions with you. First, I will discuss the first opinion, and the first opinion is liberty and equality are opposed to each other. The supporters of this view advance some reasons in support of their view. The main reasons are, as I will tell you with example. If in a class the teacher guides the students that they could score the best only if they write completely as given in the book, as she feels this will bring equality in learning and in score. Students, you see here what teacher is guiding. The students must learn the same as given in the book. Then only they can score better. And she wants to bring the equality in learning. So she is preferring only and only equality. But what the students are losing? They are losing liberty. What type of liberty they are losing? They are losing liberty of thought. But here the students who can explore and write better will not work with liberty. They will work with equality and lose the liberty to think and work better. The teacher made rules to keep equality, but students lost liberty of thought. So, in this case, both liberty and equality could not work together. So, first principle is liberty and equality are opposed to each other. So, example is according to that. So, the principle is by nature men are not equal. Since natural faculties differ, the performances of different people are different. Thus, any talk of equality is unreal for the securing so-called equality. Liberty gets limited by laws. Yes, as the teacher made the rule for class to learn the same things, to score the same marks. Same way, the government can also make the rules or laws to get the equality, but this way liberty gets restricted. So, according to first principle, liberty and equality are opposed to each other. The next example is, imagine there is a country where there are two types of market. The first is plain area market and the second is hill area market. Now, shopkeeper A sells a thing of rupees 100 in local plain area market. You can imagine your own city. We are living in plain area. So, the shopkeeper A sells a thing of rupees 800 in plain area market, and the same thing another shopkeeper B sells at cost of rupees 200 in some remote hill area market. We know that if we go to hill station, always we find the things costly. So B sells it in the hill area market at the cost of rupees 200. So you see in this example, we don't find equality of cost. So equality is not here. The result is that after a year, both earned profit and B earned more than A. We can understand why B earned more because he sold at rupees 200 and A sold it at rupees 100. In this case, when shopkeepers had liberty to sell the things at the price of their own, it created inequality. So, when economic liberty is granted, it leads to economic inequalities. So, they were given economic liberty to sell the things at their own cost. So, it created inequality. The next example is while appointing the judge of the Supreme Court, the president should see if he fulfills all the qualifications. Students, you must be knowing what are the qualifications you have done in class 10th. A person must be citizen of India. He must have worked as a judge in the High Court for 10 years or as an advocate in the High Court for 10 years. The next is that is here comes equality by selection. But one condition that makes a difference is that he must be a distinguished jurist in the opinion of the president. Now this finishes equality and the president has the liberty to choose the distinguished according to his opinion. Now here president will choose his own opinion. Yes, this gives liberty to president and it finishes equality also. If the president is not given this liberty, then a competent judge will not be appointed. Some competent persons get placed higher than ordinary people. Hence, equality is a myth. It cannot be really secured. On the basis of these arguments, political thinkers hold the view that liberty and equality are opposed to each other. So, liberty of the people should not be limited in the name of securing equality. Now, second opinion is totally opposed to each other, and the opinion is liberty and equality complement each other. On the other hand, the second group holds the view that liberty and equality are compatible. They both are necessary. Without liberty, there can be no use of equality, and without equality, there can be no real liberty. The given examples make it clear. Now let's see the examples. Suppose A and B are working in the same office, doing the same job for the same number of hours. There can be a difference in pay if there is a difference in experience. Suppose A has joined 2 months back and B has joined 10 years back, then surely there will be a difference in pay. You see, their working hours are same, their office is same, their qualification is same, but the difference is of experience. So in this case, we can't imagine absolute equality. In this world, many people are working. So absolute equality we can't imagine. There is always difference in the experience. One person's experience can't match with other, but all are at liberty to gain experience as the time passes. The person today who has 2 months experience, after some years that person will also reach up to 10 years experience. So liberty is there to gain the experience. Next example is A wants to take his family to Dehradun in the rainy season to enjoy the rainy weather. But there is a warning in that area across a particular road as there are chances of landslides. There are chances of accidents happening. Now, in this case, we can't expect to enjoy liberty. Government can't impose the government can impose reasonable restrictions for safety purposes, and it applies equally to all. Now, in this case, A wants to enjoy with his family. This is liberty, but government can impose restrictions because there are chances of landslides. But this restriction is equally applicable on all. So, liberty and equality are complement to each other. They are equally applicable on each other. So, in fact, in case of equality, we can't imagine absolute equality. As I gave you example of office workers, 2A and B, they are working for same hours in the same office with the same qualification, but there was no absolute equality because their working experience was different. So in case of liberty, rational restraints can be imposed. So in case of liberty of enjoyment, going to hill station, rational restraints can be imposed because government saw the area had landslides, so restraints were imposed. So both liberty and equality are found to be related and compatible. So both are related. How do liberty and equality complement each other? The next points bring out the validity of this view. The examples are, now in routine we see this thing. When mother cooks food, she gives equally to all her children. At home also we see when a mother has two children or three children, she gives equally to all. This is equality. Here, her children are at liberty to take any number of chapatis or eatables. Any child can take any number of chapatis, one, two, three, four, any number of chapatis. The mother is using equality and children are using liberty. So mother will feel happy over it. This is liberty. So this is the case of equality and liberty. Both complement each other. So liberty and equality are two equally important fundamental rights. The both liberty and equality are fundamental conditions. Both can be available simultaneously. Even the Indian Constitution grants both the right to equality and right to freedom. Students, you must be knowing our Constitution provides right to equality under Articles 14 to 18 in our Constitution and right to freedom from Article 15 to 19 to 22 in our Constitution. So our Constitution also provides both the rights in our Constitution. The next example is, the point is equality is needed for the enjoyment of liberty. The example is, outside a cricket stadium, there is a queue to get the ticket and move inside. It is not based on caste or religion. People freely move inside and sit according to the number provided. They enjoy both liberty and equality. Students, you see here, it is common not only for cricket stadium. You can take the example of cinema hall also. The people stand in line for ticket. They take ticket and go inside. No one at the ticket counter asks for the caste or religion or anything. They simply take money and give you ticket. So what do the people enjoy? they enjoy liberty and equality. So, if they are not given a chance to get tickets equally, surely they will not enjoy the match freely. So, social equality alone can create the environment in which people can really enjoy their liberty. The next is without liberty, equality loses its worth. The example is suppose A and B are two brothers and sisters in a family. Now the son is A and B's daughter. The son A is allowed to come late evening to the home because he is a son. But the young daughter B is not allowed to remain out from home in late evening because she is daughter. Students, this is common feature. Sometimes in your home, your own homes also, you must be watching this thing that young daughters are not allowed to be out late evening. They are told by parents to reach home early. So, what the girl is using? The parents believe that young daughters must restrict their liberty to be safe in the society. Here it finishes up equality also. No doubt, parents' love and care is equal. Love and care is equal, but restrictions on liberty finishes the equality also. So, in case a state may provide for equality but fails to grant the right to freedom, there can be little benefit of equality for the people. The next is right to equal opportunities is a feature of both liberty and equality. The example is children enjoy right to free and compulsory education which is available to all equally. We know this thing, right to free and compulsory education is available to all equally. Now, free education is equally available to the weaker sections of society, and parents can freely send their children to school. This helps to develop full society equally. So, it is available equally to the weaker sections, and parents can send freely their children to the school. Now, equality stands for the grant of equal opportunities for the development to all the people, and liberty also stands for the freedom to develop true freedom of, of the action. Hence, both liberty and equality have similar variables. The next is economic equality is a safeguard of liberty. The example is suppose elections are going on in India and today the elections are in your state. Suppose today are elections in Punjab. Everyone above the age of 18 years will go and cast their vote according to their choice. As you know, above the age of 18, a person gets a voting right. So, all above the 18 years will go and cast their vote, and the voting is according to our choice. So, at it is their secret ballot system. They have the liberty, but the rickshaw puller will prefer to pull his rickshaw instead of standing in the voting area and spending 30 to 40 minutes there. Now, rickshaw puller has liberty, but he is not using the liberty to cast vote. He has liberty to cast vote or to any party he can cast his vote by using the secret ballot system. But instead of using this liberty for casting vote, he is using the liberty for pulling the rickshaw because he thinks it's better to earn something. For him, This time can be used to earn money instead of using voting right, where he has the freedom of voting, but he used his freedom to pull his rickshaw. The reason is economic inequality. In the presence of economic inequality, the poorer and weaker sections of society are bound to remain incapable of enjoying their liberty. So rickshaw puller is not enjoying the liberty of casting vote. He is now pulling rickshaw. He is preferring to pull rickshaw. So economic inequalities destroy freedom. The next is economic equality is a safeguard of liberty. Liberty without economic equality cannot be enjoyed. It can be concluded that liberty and equality are closely related to each other. In developed political systems, people enjoy both liberty and equality. Students, now finally I can say that both liberty and equality make the democratic life valuable. It can be summarized that all the persons must be granted the maximum possible freedom as long as the freedom does not interfere with the freedom of anyone else. Students, this finishes the discussion of my today's topic, that is equality and liberty relationship. Now uh, I will discuss the topic that I have done today. The points I will discuss now I have done today: liberty and equality relationship. Liberty and equality are opposed to each other. Liberty and equality are not opposed to each other. And how do liberty and equality complement each other? And the topic related short questions are: explain equality is not opposed to liberty. Why some scholars say that liberty and equality are opposed to each other. And the next is equality and liberty complement each other. Explain. And the long question is equality is opposed to liberty. Equality is an essential safeguard of liberty. Which of these two statements is correct and why? Students, you are to answer why also. You will read the topic related pages, that is from page 166 to 169. Students, this finishes my topic discussion also and the chapter also. You will do the snap homework question and watch the video again. Next time I will start the next topic and the next chapter. Now this finishes my chapter also. Until then, goodbye and thank you.